I thought I would talk a little bit about the hunger and fullness scale from Dr. Michelle May. More often than not, people are not really listening to their bodies, right? We're eating mindlessly, we're eating in the car, we're eating when we're dropping kids off. We don't know what we're doing, right? It's hilly-nilly, it's all over the place. You don't know if you're hungry, you don't know if you're full, you could be so far gone, you don't know what's going on. So part of the work that I do with my private clients is really trying to play detective and figure out where people are on that spectrum in order to really understand what's going on. What are they having trouble with? So let me talk a little bit about this hunger and fullness scale. So of course I love props, but I'll start with my hand. Why don't you take your right hand and make it into a fist? Okay, this is what an empty stomach looks like. So that would be like a level 1. And then as you put in a couple of handfuls of food into your body, because people, that's all your body needs, a couple of handfuls of food for it to get to a 5, which is satisfied. Here is your empty stomach. And when you kind of blow into it, one good puff got me to about a 5, which is full. But sometimes we just don't even know what our body wants, or we're not listening to our body. So we just keep eating and eating and eating and eating until you get completely full, and this is what's going to happen. So this is a balloon that you can just go on blowing on forever and ever, but let's just assume that it was blown to capacity, okay, that you could not blow anymore. This would be your stomach blown up between a 6 and a 10. And if you kept going and going and going with my blowing into my balloon, your balloon would break, right? Now, thankfully, your stomach can expand, but it will not explode. So you're lucky there. You will not have an exploding stomach, but you will feel so very full that you might even throw up. So that's not a good feeling to have, people. We're all born with just an innate ability to self-regulate hunger and fullness, because when you have an infant who's new to the world, right? Here's an infant. It has not been tainted by the diet rules. It has not been tainted by social media or print or TV. All it knows is that it needs to survive. It pees and it poops and it eats and it needs to sleep. So if you're breastfeeding a baby, or if you're formula feeding a baby, when the baby's full, baby will stop. Let's try force feeding that baby. Why don't you say, hey, little baby, let me give you a little more booby snack. This was so yummy, delicious. Have a little more. Well, you know what that baby's going to do? And I don't care how good that breast milk is. I don't care how much great fat protein combination is in there. That baby's going to spit it right out. Why? Because innately it knows when to stop. But do we know when to stop? Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't even know how to start. Sometimes we don't even know that we're actually hungry. We've been so tethered down by these diet rules that we've actually trained our body to believe that it isn't hungry. So what ends up happening is a lot of clients telling me, I'm not hungry in the morning, I'm not hungry in the afternoon, but then whammo, at the end of the day, they're just like struck like lightning with this intense hunger. Of course, your body needs to catch up. You didn't give it any food. So of course it's starving. You are so far gone. That's 1 or 2 on the scale. Again, the scale goes from 1 to 10, and now you're at the point where you're so hungry that you will eat everything. So this tool is extremely useful and an awesome little tool that I like to use to increase awareness of when to eat, what to eat, and how much to eat. Do we really have that sensation in our body to really feel, this is how much I want to eat, or this is the right time for me to eat? Without thinking, oh, if I put that in my mouth, it'll be an extra 50 calories or 20 calories. The minute you kind of shed that mentality and you kind of start listening to your body and being at peace with your body, you'll sense that hunger, okay? But you have to be okay with eating, right? So the minute you're okay with eating and you sense the hunger and you honor your body by feeding it, you could probably stop at a good point where you're not absolutely stuffed. Okay. And again, the stuff can come when we're not thinking, when we're mindless, when we're just rushing, and then it hits us, and we're starving. So you want to catch it before then. So you kind of want to assess, like I said, before you eat, during the meal, and after the meal. So really important to assess your hunger and fullness. Food for thought. Think about that a little bit. Get that hunger and fullness scale. I would say use it on a regular basis. If you feel like, you've kind of lost touch with yourself, you're not quite sure, you feel like you're never hungry, well, are you really not hungry? Your body wasn't made to go without food for 20 hours or 10 hours straight. So really getting in touch with yourself and getting in tune with your hunger and satiety signals is absolutely key. So until then, I bid you adieu to good health, to good eating, and always be happy. Take care.